Yo, what's going on, guys? Evan Tanaka here, back with another video. In today's video, we got another I Rate and Improve Your Guys' Team series. If you guys are new to my channel and don't know what this is, basically you guys will send me your teams on Twitter at EvanTanaka10. You'll give me your team and how much MT you have or how much MT you want to spend. I'll give you guys a rating out of 10. It could be a 6, a 7, a 8, a 9, a 10, whatever I think. And then give you guys my suggestions of what players to take out of your lineup and then what players to put into your lineup to make you guys have the best team possible for your MT budget. So if you guys want to be in one of these future videos, follow me at EvanTanaka10 on Twitter, and then I'll be posting a tweet asking for teams, and you're going to comment your team and MT amount down below underneath that specific tweet. Let's get on to the video. So the first team here is going to come from IsItGift. I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong. He's got 50,000 MT, and this is his squad. So a very, very good squad to start off the video. He's got Penny Hardaway, Terry Dischinger, Kawhi, Rudy Gay, D-Rob. Very, very good starting lineup. Even Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, Mike Miller, Dolph Schayes, and Serge Ibaka. Super, super good. I'm going to have to give this team rating a 9 out of 10. I think it's a really, really good team. I mean, there's a couple positions you could upgrade to obviously make it a 9.5 or potentially even a 10 out of 10 if you had a lot more MT, but with only 50,000 MT, there's no real massive upgrades you can make. And honestly, I think the only position you can really upgrade is going to be that backup point guard position. And for someone like me, I think you can get a Magic for about 50k MT, and I do think he is a lot better than a guy like Damian Lillard. So for me, I would look to go pick up a guy like Magic Johnson for that point guard position, backup point guard position. And then honestly, I think instead of Mike Miller is going to be is a better card than AK. But I think for your specific lineup, with having Damian Lillard and Klay Thompson, sure, Klay Thompson's a great defender, but you don't have a lockdown defender. Like, you have Kawhi and Terry Dischinger on your starting lineup, two really, really good defenders. Even Penny Hardaway, 6'7" point guard. But off the bench, like, Dame's not a very good defender. Mike Miller, not a great defender. Klay Thompson's a great defender, but that's only one defender. I think you need a lockdown. So honestly, I would go AK over Mike Miller, and then I would get Magic over Damian Lillard. So yeah, thank you for sending your team. On to the next one. Next team here is from Perez. I'm pretty sure, again, apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. He's got around 150 KMT. Open to suggestions to improve the team. Okay, well, that's good because that's the point of the video. Okay, so rating out of 10. So he's got Penny Hardaway, James Harden, Jaylen Brown. DeMar DeRozan at the 4 is pretty questionable in my opinion. Serge Ibaka at the 5. So other than DeMar at the 4, pretty good starting lineup. Off the bench, Trae Young, I'm not the biggest fan of. Buddy Hield, really good. Boris Diaw, really solid. Evan Mobley, really good. And George Mikan, really good as well. So overall, not a terrible team, but not a great team. I'm going to probably go an 8 out of 10, specifically because you have guys like DeMar DeRozan at the 4, and you have guys like Trae Young. And then overall, your team's good, but it's nothing crazy. So I think 8 out of 10 is still a very solid score, but I'm going to have to give you an 8 out of 10 rating. Now for improvements, you have 150 KMT, so that's a very good amount to work with. I think the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to move Boris Diaw to the starting 4 position. So you're going to move DeMar DeRozan to backup 3, and then put Boris Diaw to the starting power forward. Now, if you don't want to use Boris Diaw, you could pick up a better power forward, like a guy like Draymond Green, a guy like AK-47, a guy like Rudy Gay. I think Rudy Gay, actually, I'm going to recommend Rudy Gay. So get rid of Boris Diaw, put DeMar DeRozan to the backup 3, and then pick up Rudy Gay for your starting power forward position. Your starting lineup will then be perfect. You don't need to touch your starting lineup anymore. You'll have Penny, James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Rudy Gay, and Serge Ibaka. That is good to go. Now, bench so far will be Trae Young, Buddy Hield, DeMar DeRozan, Evan Mobley, and George Mikan. And honestly, I think there's only one position you need to upgrade, and that is going to be Trae Young. I think if you want to go budget, you can go Avery Bradley or Marcus Smart. If you want to go a little bit more expensive, go guys like John Wall or Magic Johnson. That's what I would do for point guard, backup point guard position, because I'm not the biggest fan of Trae Young. Magic Johnson, John Wall, Marcus Smart, all way better in my opinion than Trae Young. Even a guy like Jamal Crawford is still really solid. Even Dion Waiters is better than Trae Young. There's so many budget point guards that are better than this Trae Young card, but overall, bench is solid. I mean, you'll have, for example, you could go John Wall, Buddy Hield, not Rudy Gay, DeMar DeRozan, Evan Mobley, and George Mikan, and that's a solid probably 8.5 out of 10 squad, especially with the starting lineup having Rudy Gay. So thank you, Paz, for sending your team. On to the next one. Next team here is from LBJ Hoops. He has 180 KMT, or at least around. Starting lineup is Avery Bradley, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Antoine Jameson, and Serge Ibaka. Pretty solid starting lineup. He's got Trae Young, Mike Miller, Kelly Oubre Jr., Draymond Green, and Evan Mobley. So overall, a good team, kind of like the last team. Not the biggest fan of Trae Young, but I think it is a little bit better than that last team. So I'm going to go probably an 8.2 to 8.5, somewhere in that range. I'm going to say 8.5. I think it's a really solid team. You have around 180 KMT. So I think the first position we are going to upgrade is going to be the point guard position. Avery Bradley and Trae Young, you can easily just go guys like Magic Johnson and John Wall. right? That's going to cost you around 80 to 90,000 MT, and I think those are two really good pickups for your squad. I think everybody with these types of teams should have guys like John Wall and have guys like Magic Johnson. For the backup three, this is where you can kind of go a bunch of different ways. I'll give you the options of some lockdown defenders like AK and Scottie Pippen, but if you want some better overall offensive players, I would go with guys like Rudy Gay. I think Rudy Gay will be really solid for this backup three. You could even start him over DeMar DeRozan if you would like, but then having a bench of maybe John Wall, Mike Miller, Rudy Gay, Draymond Green, and Evan Mobley is really good, and then having a starting lineup of Magic Johnson, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Antoine, and Serge Ibaka is super good, and I would probably give this team definitely an 8.5 out of 10, probably more to the 8.7, 8.8 range. But thank you LBJ Hoops for sending your team on to the next one. Next team here is from extinctgamer. He says he has 400,000 MT. I have Diamond Curry as coach. I'm level 37 for Yao. You said 47, you meant 37. Okay, so perfect. Let's see. So he's got John Wall, Reggie Lewis. You lucky. Can't say that word on YouTube, but you lucky. You're lucky, okay? Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, and Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. is kind of doesn't really fit in with Reggie Lewis, Pascal Siakam, Kawhi Leonard, and John Wall. But we'll come back to that. Mark Price, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Bailey Howell, and Evan Mobley. So the only two players that are in your squad that you kind of need to replace is going to be Jaren Jackson Jr. and Mark Price. I love John Wall, Reggie Lewis, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam. Love Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Bailey Howell, Evan Mobley. Think it's a very good overall team. I think I'm gonna have to go 8.5. I don't think I can give you any higher than 8.5 with having Mark Price on your team, and then Jaren Jackson Jr. is a little bit underwhelming at the center position, or just in general, just a little bit outdated. He used to be one of the best budget big men in the game, but now that we got guys like Serge, we got guys like Chris Anderson, we got all those type of guys, they kind of fall. Jaren Jackson Jr. kind of falls a little bit under the radar, and that we mentioned that one player, Serge Ibaka. Get Serge Ibaka over Jaren Jackson Jr. He is a much better center, diamond center. He's about 10 to 15,000 MT. Much better than Jaren Jackson Jr. He's probably a better shooter, a better interior defender, can even space the floor. And, maybe Jaren Jackson Jr. is a bit faster, but Serge Ibaka, definitely better defender and definitely better shooter. So that's what I would do for the starting center position. Only going to cost you about 10 to 15,000 MT, like I said. And then for the backup point guard position, I know it's kind of getting repetitive, but this one I'm going to go a little bit different. You got 400,000 MT. You can realistically pick up a guy like Wade. You can pick up a guy like Penny Hardaway, right? You can go for those a little bit more expensive guys. Now, I wouldn't go Curry range or Donovan Mitchell range, even though those are the two top point guards in the game. But I think getting a Wade or getting a Penny Hardaway will really help you off the bench, and then you're going to start them and move John Wall to the backup point guard position. And then you could also look to replace Evan Mobley and get Chris Anderson. Just going to throw it out there. If you like Evan Mobley better, you can definitely keep Evan Mobley, but Chris Anderson looks to be a really good center, so I'm just going to throw his name out there. So your team will look something like, if you go Penny Hardaway, for example, Penny Hardaway, Reggie Lewis, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Serge Ibaka. Really good stuff there. The bench will be John Wall, Jaylen Brown, DeMar DeRozan, Bailey Howell, and a guy like Chris Anderson. I think that's a really good squad, but thank you extinctgamer for sending in your team. On to the next one. Next team sent in here is from someone. He says 230k MT, open to any suggestions. So he's got Josh Giddey at the 1, Buddy Hield, Bailey Howell, Obi Toppin, Serge Ibaka, Avery Bradley, Klay Thompson, Kirilenko, Draymond Green, and Chris Anderson. So once again, a very good budget squad. Nothing too crazy, but not necessarily a bad team at all. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10. For me, not the biggest fan of that Toppin card, and not the biggest fan of Josh Giddey and Avery Bradley. I mean, he's good, but I think with 230,000 MT, you can definitely make some way better upgrades. And a lot of people in this video, guys, do need better point guards. So I know it might be getting a little bit repetitive. I'm going to throw the two same guys out there, but I'll give you guys some other options. So, first two options, Magic Johnson and John Wall, right? Just going to throw them out there, but you can go Marcus Smart if you want to go cheaper, right? Instead of Avery Bradley, go Marcus Smart. I think Marcus Smart is just better than Avery Bradley. And then instead of Josh Giddey, you still want that taller point guard, go with a guy like Jamal Crawford or go with a guy like Magic Johnson. Those are two taller point guards. Jamal Crawford, a way better offensive guard if you want a better point guard that can play offense. I think you can keep Buddy Hield. I think you can keep Bailey Howell. What I'm going to do is say move Bailey Howell to the power forward position, get rid of Obi Toppin, and then pick up a guy like Rudy Gay for your starting small forward position. Going to give you really good offense. He can attack the basket. He pretty much does everything well on the court. So then your starting lineup could look something like Magic Johnson, Buddy Hield, Rudy Gay, Bailey Howell, and Serge Ibaka. Ibaka. Super good stuff there. The bench could be Marcus Smart, Klay Thompson, Kirilenko, Draymond Green, and Chris Anderson. Really, really good budget squad there. That'd probably be like an 8.5 out of 10 squad. But thank you someone for sending your team. On to the next one. The final team of the video is going to be sent in here by Mark Perez. He says he's got 250k MT, next gen Xbox, close to getting Granger, Yao, and Siakam. So he's going for all the reward cards, which is cool to see. This lineup, though, really, really good. We got Donovan Mitchell, we got Klay Thompson, we got Kevin Durant, we got LeBron James, Chris Bosh, we got Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, Joe Johnson, Antoine Jamison, and Serge Ibaka, as well as 250 KMT. And for this lineup, I'm going to assume you're going to have Yao Ming starting and then Chris Bosh instead of Serge Ibaka. I'm going to assume you're going to have Granger over a guy like Joe Johnson. I'm assuming you're going to have Siakam over a guy like Antoine Jamison. But for rating for your team right now, I'm going to go 9.5. It isn't the best team in the game for sure, but it's a 9.5. It's probably as close, not as close as you're going to get to the best team in the game, but it's pretty close to the best team you're going to get in the game. For me, though, I would replace Antoine Jamison. If you're getting Siakam, that's cool. But I think Antoine Jamison needs to be replaced as well as, Antoine Jamison is really the only card that I would really replace. I personally am a bigger fan of D-Rob over Chris Bosh, so I would personally sell Chris Bosh and pick up a guy like D-Rob. He's cheaper as well, but you may like Chris Bosh better. Just going to throw that out there. But honestly, I think you're pretty much good. Just get those three. Once you get those three reward cards, Granger, Yao, and Siakam, and you replace Joe Johnson with Granger, you replace Antoine Jamison with Siakam, and then you replace Serge Ibaka with Yao, you're pretty much good to go. So thank you, Mark Perez, for sending your team. And that is it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure if you guys want to be in a future video, send me your team at EvanTanaka10 on Twitter. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.